sort of get out there, chase business, and like they say, Australia is the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure is.
What do they say about New Zealand then? The land of the long white cloud?
Yeah. Oh, paradise. Paradise.
Yeah, it is not. I've only been there once, but I'll get back to you guys. And what about you ladies? We're in the caravan. Don't be creeped out. Okay.
It's even got a bed in here.
Yeah, I know. Comfy? No. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tan. I am from Write Your Cancer, and I'm looking to start a podcast all about sharing people. Sorry, can I do that again? You can edit that.
No edits. No, that's it.
No edits. Okay.
Well, to be honest, that's for me, it's the most interesting part. It really is. Like when you mess up, people go, huh? You know, I found it to be my best bits. Yeah.
So with Write Your Cancer, it's helping people who are cancer supporters, cancer carers, cancer survivors to share their story about what they're experiencing and helping others and helping themselves, so teaching them to blog or write their cancer story in a way of getting it out there.
What a heavy topic. But seriously, what a heavy topic. Well, I've got a friend. I recently did a podcast, right, with a lady who lost 2 of her kids. They committed suicide. And it was, I was frightened. I didn't want to talk to her. But that's the thing. And people with cancer say the same thing. We just don't want to talk. We don't know what to say. Like a healthy person will not talk to a person with cancer. So to be able to talk, and for someone without cancer to hear what it sort of goes, oh, okay, I can talk to you. I sort of understand you now, hey?
Yeah. So one of the things that my husband has just recently been diagnosed with stomach cancer 5 weeks after our wedding, and a lot of friends just stopped coming around or were talking to us. And when I actually raised the question as to why, the answer was we don't know what to do or what to say, which started the journey to then be able to give people information on, hey, this is how you can help us.
You know, my point of view is that we're sort of pack animals. When someone gets sick, we are dropping them off the pack. Wouldn't you agree? And once you know that, you're like, geez, I'm silly. Like I'm just acting like the tribe I was in sort of thing. Someone's sick, you don't know what to do. You're kind of like, oh, they need to be pushed over there. Yeah. So same with my friend who, she's had multiple bereavement. That's what they call it. So, she just wants to be spoken to. So it's a good thing to do, hey? Hello.
Hello. I'm Lynn Blyton. I run a company called The Fragile Puzzle, and I'm basically a therapist. I've developed my own way of working with people, and when other therapists talk to me, it seemed that I didn't do what they did, and for years I didn't really understand what I was doing. For 25 years I've been doing something. I've been teaching people that there's 2 parts to us inside. One's just there for your survival and one's creative, and the 2 don't really get along. And recently I discovered that we're actually symbiotic organisms. We're made up of human cells and bacterial cells. And the horrible news is that the bacterial side is 10 times bigger than the human side. So really we're living in this body where we're not the boss. And so a lot of my work is teaching people to recognise which communication belongs to which side.
Wow, another one that you can't describe in 5 minutes, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just say something else.
Yeah.
And I've never done a podcast. I just saw this podcast conference and I knew that's where I had to be. I have to learn about podcasting. I now have a message to get out there to the world because it's all about people learning to live with each other and be happy. Because the bacterial side uses one element to control us, and that's fear. And that's why the world's a bit of a mess. Basically why probably you develop cancer.
Well, I hope you do that podcast, and you guys will understand this, right? What I've found, I'm from Brisbane. I live on the Gold Coast forever. Yeah. We can't understand. There's billions of people worldwide, right? So for your topic in particular, that may, there's only 500,000 people on the Gold Coast where I'm at. Maybe only 20 people even know what you're talking about. Yeah. But that might mean 200,000 worldwide, so that's where I get all my listens from just, there's so many people out there, you know what I mean? So you might find, you say Māori, yeah?
Oh,
how many Maoris are overseas? Okay, Māori people. Yeah, well, they would love to hear your story. You know, they just Google search like they do everything else. You know, and
also I think there are successful Māori people overseas that would want people to hear their stories. Yeah. So, you know, we're here, man. So
yeah, well, mate, I can't wait to look out for it. What's the name of it again?
Chur Māori.
Chur Māori. And yours?
Write Your Cancer.
Write Your Cancer.
The Fragile Puzzle.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in the caravan. I didn't creep you out too much.
Awesome.
Yeah? All right. Okay.
We are Podcast Convention, Surfers Paradise, Queensland, Australia 2015.
Awesome. I'm super psyched. Yeah.
You super psyched?
Keen. Yeah.
Well, Paul, we just finished on day one at the We Are Podcast conference down here at the Mantra on View at Surfers Paradise.
Yeah, a brilliant day.
Yeah?
It totally exceeded my expectations. I didn't really know what a conference like this would be about, and obviously because it's the first one in the Southern Hemisphere, I think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us in the room didn't really know what it was going to be about, but just so much awesome content packed into such an interesting, varied day. Yeah. From talking to some of the other people, I think everyone was just blown away.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't introduce you. Please.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
My
Your last name? Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Paul Tyndall. I'm from Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I've just come down here. I only found out about the conference about a week and a half ago, just by serendipity, just through an email list that I'm subscribed to. And I've been a huge podcast listener for ages, for about 2 years. I've followed 200 odd podcasts. Usually, a lot of the podcasts I'm interested in are kind of in the health and wellness space. So I'm a dancer. And so I'm really interested. Previously, I came into dancing from being a competitive rock climber for many years.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested in that type of thing, and that's sort of the portal through which I got interested in podcasts.
Excellent.
But since then, it's branched out into a lot of the entrepreneurship podcasts, like the Tim Ferriss show, James Altucher, like the Lewis Howes School of Greatness.
Yeah.
Would
you start your own?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this has inspired me to do it as well, because when you see the variety of people and even with yourself, that all the different guests that you have on just from around, I think it's around Australia now, but originally starting off in the Gold Coast area.
Yeah.
And you've got athletes, you've got musicians.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And that's where yours would really succeed, because you think of all the dancers or everyone in the show industry, right? You only need to start with one, and they get such a buzz that they'll tell their friend, and the next minute you're talking to all of them, because they don't. When was the last time you heard someone from, say, your industry on the radio?
I never have.
Exactly. Well, it's their chance to actually talk about what they do and what they love, and then your point of view would be so strong because you know all about it. Yeah.
I feel like as well, there are commonalities in excellence in any given field, and so you can sort of delve down into the sort of undercurrents underlying people's success, whether it be in dancing, whether it be in being a musician or even a business owner or an athlete, and it's actually really interesting to cross compare the similar approaches to like maybe daily rituals or to the way they approach building their networks and things like that. Yeah. And it's just a fascinating way to actually explore. I don't think we really get exposed to long-form content through the conventional media.
No.
And as a result of that, I think everyone kind of hungers for it, because we're barraged. There's a barrage of superficialness.
Yeah.
And it's quite easy to bypass and just simply to view media as a continuous Facebook feed, to just be skimmed over. And when you do get to delve and do a deep dive into some content that you're interested in on demand, I see that as a really interesting, exciting thing for the future.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago, I actually raced sprint cars for a long time because it's my father's nuts about it, and I was lucky to race these cars for years. Yeah. But my friends don't know nothing about racing, and a lot of people kind of, that sounded so bogan, so daggy. So I didn't often talk about it with people I knew here on the Gold Coast, but until a friend of mine said, no man, you're in a subculture. Subcultures are cool, and it honestly changed my life. Like, even though I was proud of what I did, saying it around the wrong person somewhere, you know, it made me go, actually, yeah, subcultures are cool. Goths are cool. Dancers are cool. Like, and so
Yes.
finding that people are all the same. They all have their own little weird interests. And hey,
Yeah.
have you done a show? Like, have you done many shows?
Oh, we do heaps of shows. Yeah. So
are you in a group?
yeah, I have a dance company, and so we do shows around Australia. We've just done a couple of international shows this year, and we just sort of expanded to do a lot more corporate work.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we had a fair bit of success on a couple of the TV shows. Australia's Got Talent on Channel 9 and Channel 7. And Everybody Dance Now. So we did quite well on a couple of those shows. And that
who
kind
you
of...
called though, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we had a couple of different acts. One was called Shift One, and we were grand finalists in 2009, I think it was. And then the next crew was Swagger Mama, and they were grand finalists on the last Australia's Got Talent, which
I've got a feeling I saw that. I remember that name.
Yeah, well, we do a lot of the corporate work down on the Gold Coast. So if you've ever been to like an event, you know, like an event at Royal Pines or Gold Coast Convention Centre, we may have been involved in some of the hype up work. It's a lot of break dancing and acrobatics and things like that.
Brilliant. Do you know a good jazz hands?
Yeah, I can do a jazz hands.
I love jazz hands.
I've got a competitive jazz hands game.
I love it. Well, I was in theatre restaurants for a lot of years, lot of years, and my last podcast episode was with Shanae Louise from Dracula. She was in Dracula's for about 5 years, Big Brother and that. And so we were at different theatre restaurants here on the coast. Yeah. But we all had, there were always dancers there, and the good jazz hand never goes out of style when you're drunk, you know.
Do you feel like the diversity of your background informs your ability to deal with guests from a range of different disciplines?
Yeah, well, yes, most definitely. And before I started a podcast show, I kind of thought, oh man, I sort of know a lot about lots of things, but it's pretty useless. Like, what's the word? Jack of all trades, king of... What is it?
Master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, and it was almost a frustrating point. I started to get really negative. Like, man, I've done lots of these great things. And like I said in the thing today, my father's actually rich at one great thing. Yeah. And to be proud of. And I've done a lot of things. I'm finding right now this podcast show is really where it's paying off for me.
Yes.
Because I've touched, been around so many different deals. I can sort of, talk to everyone. It's great feeling, mate.
Your authenticity was really infectious in the presentations. So everybody instantly warmed to you, probably more than any other speaker, straight away on stage by virtue of like if as a performer, I know the feeling of that when you get on stage and you have to win over an audience, and it's almost as if you have to push the energy off stage. So the judgment of the audience is not sitting on stage with you. You're sort of pushing your infectious energy back off stage, and you did that straight away.
That's right.
Which is
thank you, mate. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I felt that warmth from the crowd. It was just a great, when you exactly what you said. Yeah, exactly what you said. I knew it was a good time for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I did that pretty good. That was all right. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, is it your do your presentation or interview skills come naturally, or your charisma come naturally, or is it something that's developed during the course of the 50 or however many 70 episodes is it so far?
No, well, you would understand this. I'm in a cover band. I'll be singing tomorrow at the Cooley Hotel.
Oh, so awesome!
But the cover band to me is a less important thing. But I sing every weekend. Every Wednesday night we rehearse. I'm in front of a crowd. So I went from... But to me, it's just a daggy second job. Like, So to answer your question, no, it's because I'm in front of crowds every week.
Yeah.
And to me, crowds are all the same. I was looking around this crowd going, okay, there's the serious people, the pretty girls, so to speak. The pretty girls, the serious guys, the jokers, and you just have... It's the same crowd, isn't it? So you'd understand from performance. So I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to see how I'd go with this crowd.
That's why you got good mic technique as well. It's something I've never done is hold a microphone up like this.
Oh, mate, how do you feel? First podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, cheers. Thank you so much.
Put it there, mate.
Thanks.
Appreciate you taking the chance.
Cheers,
and if anything, that's I feel it's a great thing for me. I've actually got you on your first podcast. I don't think you'll ever forget it.
I won't.
And I really hope you start your own. And
I will.
You'll never forget me, no doubt, because of this. So good on you, mate.
Absolutely not. It's a spin out, and it's great to be in here. This is a great little setup that's in here as well. It's a mobile as well. Yeah. All right, cheers, Drew. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, notice this, right? Headphones are off.
Yep.
Different world.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
is.
And that's what I mean. The power of this and a